Okay, good evening. I'm Ahmed. A big story tonight. When Israel airstrike hit a compound in Doha, Qatar, people here are shocked. Officials say several were killed, and including at the last one, the Qatari security officer, Israel says it was targeting the Hamas figures. This a development with seriously diplomatic and regional pollutes. I want to get the strength to our correspondent reporter Abisam, who's on the ground in Doha, wants the mood there.
Hi, thanks. The mood is tense and a little stunned. People I've spoken with say they never expected an attack like this on Qatari soil. Emergency teams were here quickly. Buildings were damaged and neighbors are still in shock. Qatar's government has strongly condemned the strike and called it a violation of sovereignty. Hamas reports casualties too, so you've got government anger, civilian fear, and a mediation track that suddenly looks fragile. Israeli officials say they targeted Hamas leaders they hold responsible for the past attacks. The timing is sensitive. There were reports of negotiators who were in Doha discussing a ceasefire or hostage exchanges. If true, that raises serious questions. What about what message the strike was meant to send? People here keep asking the same thing. Why Doha? Qatar has been a mediator in this conflict for years. It hosts talks, it helps move hostages and aid. So when something like this happens, it's not a military act. It's a shock to the whole diplomatic ecosystem. You also hear local concern. If Gulf capital can be struck, what's next? That's a real practical fear. Sure, there's no single answer, but there are some common lines of thought. Decapitation, take out leaders to disrupt planning, straightforward military logic. Preventing a deal, something the strike might have been aimed at blocking a ceasefire or hostage deal Israel didn't like. If negotiators were meeting, that's one way to make sure that talks don't move forward. Send a message to Hamas and other states. Hosting militants doesn't guarantee safety. That's a harsh signal and it risks alienating those very mediators. Domestic politics. Leaders sometimes take bold actions when they need to show strength at home. That matters in a polarized political scene. Any one of these or some combination could explain the strike, but each comes with big risks. Diplomatic fallout, escalation, and the loss of the channel that until now helped calm things down. Exactly. Nearby capitals are alarmed. Gulf states that they had been moving closer to normalizing ties with Israel. Could rethink that. The attack may force them to choose sides more openly, and that can just spark a new wave of tensions. Back here, people are worried about safety and diplomatic isolation. Doha's role as an intermediary could be badly damaged. People I've talked to are cautiously pessimistic. Diplomats are scrambling, and the UN and regional organizations are set to meet. Right now, there's no sign of an immediate wider military response, but the diplomatic damage is done, and that can quickly translate to security consequences. So it's really bad. Off to you and the station. Thank you.
That's a big hit to Doha. Image as the peacemaker. Israel says this was targeting operations that they're framing it as the self-defense. Any details from the official? And Reactions have to be in the first Arab capitals have to comment it and calls calls for the emergency meetings are coming in. The UN is being the asked to wait and change a lot of the development of culture. Let's talk motive. The obvious questions: why would Israel take such the high risk? Stop analyzing to have the few terrorists walk us through the main one. So even if the operations achieve the short-term military the aim, it may have the long-term the political cost. Let's not forget the human side. Families, the neighbor, emergency reporter, even in the biggest picture in an analyst, the central. Abrisam, what are people saying about what comes next? Are talks still possible? Is there any medicated sign of the escalations on the ground? Thank you. We'll keep following this and bring updates as they come. I'm Ohin Bean and stay with us.
Israel's decision to strike inside Qatar is unusual and significant. The motive may lie in Israel's perception that Qatar provides channels of support, political, financial, or media, to groups Israel views as hostile. At the same time, Qatar has been positioning itself as a mediator in Gaza, which Israel could interpret as undermining its strategic leverage. So the strike may be less about immediate military targets and more about sending a deterrent message across the region. But the risks are considerable. Qatar hosts key U.S. military facilities, and any escalation on its territory risks drawing in Washington and reshaping diplomatic alignments in the Gulf. This incident could therefore have repercussions far beyond the Qatar-Israel relationship. Uh, so yeah, it's not good. That's all from me.